When people think about Stjepan Hauser, they usually imagine his powerful performances, emotional music, and global fame. But beyond the stage and the spotlight, there is another side of his life that always attracts attention: his love life. Over the years, fans have shown a deep curiosity about his relationships, who he is dating, what kind of partner he prefers, and whether his personal life matches the intensity of his music. These questions continue to create interest, and the reason is simple. Hauser's personality creates mystery. On stage, he is expressive, passionate, and emotionally connected to his music. This naturally makes people wonder if his real-life relationships carry the same depth. Fans often try to connect his musical emotions with his personal feelings, but reality is not always that simple. Unlike many celebrities, Hauser does not openly share details about his relationships. He keeps most of his romantic life private, which only increases curiosity. When information is limited, speculation grows. And that is exactly what has happened. There have been moments where his relationships became public, either through social media or public appearances. These moments quickly caught attention, leading to discussions and assumptions about his personal life. But even in those situations, he maintained control. He never fully opened up. This selective sharing creates a unique situation. Fans feel like they know something, but not everything. There is always a missing piece, which keeps interest alive. Another important factor is his image. Hauser is often seen as charming, confident, and emotionally expressive. These traits naturally attract attention, especially when it comes to relationships. People are drawn to personalities that appear both strong and emotional at the same time. It creates a sense of intrigue. There is also a connection between music and emotion. As a musician, he expresses feelings through his performances. This makes fans believe that he must also be deeply emotional in real life. And while that may be true to some extent, it does not mean his personal life is as public as his music. This is where the mystery remains. Platforms like YouTube show his performances in public moments, but they do not reveal the full story of his relationships. And that is intentional. Because sometimes, keeping things private is a choice, not a limitation. In the end, the love life of Stjepan Hauser is something people talk about a lot, but fully understand very little. And maybe that is exactly how he wants it. While much of the love life of Stjepan Hauser remains private, there have been a few moments where his relationships became visible to the public, and naturally those moments gained massive attention. One of the most talked about relationships linked to Hauser was with Yelena Rozga. When news of their relationship surfaced, fans were immediately interested. Both were well-known public figures, and their connection created a lot of excitement. Their appearances together in public confirmation made it one of the rare times. Hauser's personal life was clearly visible. For a while, everything seemed strong. Fans followed their relationship closely, expecting it to last long-term. But like many public relationships, things changed. Eventually, the relationship ended, leaving fans curious about what really happened. However, Hauser did not go into details. He maintained his usual approach, keeping personal matters private. This is something important to understand. Even when his relationships become public, he does not fully open up about them. He allows people to see only what he chooses to share. There have also been other moments where he was seen with different people, either through events, social media glimpses, or public appearances. These moments often led to speculation, but speculation is not confirmation. In today's digital world, even a single photo or appearance can create rumors. Fans and media quickly build stories based on limited information. But in Hauser's case, most of these stories remain unverified, and that adds to the mystery. Another important factor is how he presents himself publicly. Hauser is confident, charming, and expressive. These qualities naturally attract attention, especially from fans who are curious about his personal life. This often leads to assumptions about his relationships, but assumptions are not always reality. Platforms like YouTube mostly show his professional side, his music, performances, and artistic expression. His personal relationships are rarely the focus. This creates a clear separation. He allows his work to be public, but keeps his emotions controlled and private. This balance is not easy. Many celebrities either share too much or try to hide everything completely. Hauser seems to follow a middle path, revealing just enough to keep people interested, but not enough to lose control of his personal life. In the end, what we know about his relationships is limited. A few confirmed moments, a few public appearances, and a lot of unanswered questions. And that is what keeps fans interested, because sometimes what is not fully revealed becomes more powerful than what is openly shared. And in the case of Stjepan Hauser, his love life remains exactly that, a mix of truth, mystery, and curiosity. As the fame of Stjepan Hauser continued to grow, so did the curiosity around his personal life. And where curiosity exists, rumors are never far behind. Over the years, Hauser has been surrounded by speculation about his relationships. Sometimes it starts with a simple photo, sometimes a public appearance, and sometimes just a moment captured on camera. But in today's digital world, even the smallest detail can turn into a big story. Fans begin to connect dots, social media discussions grow, people create their own versions of reality, trying to figure out what is really happening behind the scenes. And before long, assumptions begin to feel like facts. This is how rumors are created. In Hauser's case, this happens quite often, because he does not openly talk about his love life. People try to fill the gap with their own ideas. Every interaction, every smile, every appearance with someone becomes a possible story, but the truth is not always visible. There is a big difference between what is seen and what is real. A public moment does not always represent a personal relationship. Yet, in the world of fame, it is easy for these lines to blur. Another important reason for these rumors is his personality. Hauser has a strong stage presence, confident, emotional, and expressive. This naturally attracts attention. People are drawn to personalities that show depth and emotion. It creates a sense that there must be a deeper story behind the person. And that feeling leads to speculation. Platforms like YouTube also play a role. While they show his performances and public appearances, they do not provide full context. Viewers see moments, but not the complete picture. This leaves space for interpretation. And when people interpret without full information, different versions of the story begin to appear. But Hauser rarely reacts. He does not publicly confirm or deny most rumors. This silence can be confusing for some fans, but it also shows control. By not responding, he avoids giving more attention to speculation. At the same time, this silence adds to the mystery, because when there are no clear answers, curiosity continues to grow. Another important point is how fast information spreads today. A single image or clip can reach millions within minutes. Once a rumor starts, it becomes difficult to control. Even if it is not true, it can still influence how people think. This is the reality of modern fame. In the end, the rumors around Stjepan Hauser are not just about his personal life. They are about how people try to understand something that is intentionally kept private. And sometimes the more something is hidden, the more people try to uncover it. After all the rumors and curiosity surrounding Stjepan Hauser, one important question stands out. Why does he choose to keep his love life so private? In today's world, where most celebrities openly share their relationships on social media, his approach feels different. Many public figures regularly post about their partners, personal moments, and daily life. But Hauser does not follow that path. And this is not random, it is a decision. One of the biggest reasons is protection. When a relationship becomes public, it also becomes exposed. Every detail can be discussed, judged, and sometimes even criticized. This creates pressure, not just for the person, but also for their partner. For someone living in the spotlight, this pressure can be overwhelming. By keeping his love life private, Hauser protects it from this constant attention. Another reason is control. Once something is shared publicly, it is no longer fully yours. People start forming opinions, asking questions, and expecting answers. This can quickly turn personal life into public content. Hauser avoids this by limiting what he shares. This gives him control over his narrative. There is also the factor of focus. His identity is built on music, not personal drama. By keeping his relationships out of the spotlight, he ensures that attention stays on his work rather than his private life. Even on platforms like YouTube, his content is mostly about performances and creativity, not relationships. This shows discipline. Another important aspect is emotional security. Relationships are personal. They involve trust, understanding, and private moments. When these moments become public, they can lose their meaning. External opinions can influence something that should remain personal. By keeping things private, Hauser maintains emotional balance. He separates what belongs to him from what belongs to the public. There is also a personality factor. Not everyone is comfortable sharing their personal life openly. Some people prefer to keep certain aspects of their life private, regardless of their level of fame. Hauser appears to be one of those individuals. His emotional expression is visible in his music, not in public discussions about his relationships. This creates a unique situation. Fans feel his emotions through performances, but they do not see the details behind them. And that adds depth to his personality. In the end, his privacy is not about hiding something. It is about choosing what matters, because sometimes the most valuable parts of life are the ones that are not shared with the world. And for Stjepan Hauser, his love life is one of those parts. Even though Stjepan Hauser keeps his love life private, there is one place where his emotions are fully visible: his music. This is where things become truly interesting. On stage, Hauser does not hide anything. His performances are filled with passion, intensity, and deep emotional expression. Every note he plays feels personal, almost as if he is telling a story without using words. And this makes fans wonder, is his music connected to his real emotions? Is there a hidden love story behind what he plays? While there are no clear answers, the feeling is undeniable. Music has always been a way to express what cannot be said directly. For Hauser, the cello becomes his voice. Through it, he communicates emotions that he may never explain publicly. This includes love. This includes heartbreak. And this includes deep personal experiences. Another important factor is how he performs. Hauser does not just play music, he feels it. His expressions, body language, and connection with the instrument create an emotional experience for the audience. This makes people feel like they are witnessing something real, not just a performance. And that connection is powerful. Fans begin to interpret these emotions. They try to connect what they see on stage with what might be happening in his personal life. They believe that such deep expression must come from real experiences. And in many cases, that is true for artists. But the details remain unknown. Platforms like YouTube have made these performances accessible to millions. People from around the world watch his videos and feel the same emotions, without knowing the full story behind them. This creates a unique situation. The emotion is shared, but the source remains hidden, and that is what makes it so powerful. Another interesting point is that by not explaining everything, Hauser allows listeners to create their own meaning. Each person connects with his music in a different way, based on their own experiences. This makes his performances more personal for the audience, because they are not limited by a fixed story. In the end, Hauser's love life may be private, but his emotions are not completely hidden. They are expressed in a different form, not through words or public statements, but through music. And sometimes, that form of expression is even stronger, because it allows people to feel something real, without needing to know every detail behind it. After everything we've explored about Stjepan Hauser's love life, one important reality becomes clear. There is a big difference between what fans believe and what is actually true. This gap between perception and reality is where most of the confusion begins. Fans see his performances, his expressions, and his personality. They feel the emotion in his music and start building a picture in their minds. They imagine what his relationships must be like. They assume how he feels, who he loves, and what his personal life looks like. But this picture is not always accurate. It is based on limited information. This is what creates the illusion. An illusion is something that feels real, but is not fully true. In Hauser's case, the illusion is built from public moments, emotional performances, and small glimpses of his life. But reality is much more private. Another reason for this illusion is storytelling. Humans naturally try to create stories. When we do not have full information, we fill in the gaps ourselves. We connect dots that may not actually be connected. And in the world of celebrities, this happens all the time. For example, a simple public appearance with someone can turn into a relationship in people's minds. A smile or interaction can be interpreted as something deeper. But interpretation is not confirmation. Platforms like YouTube also contribute to this. They show selected moments, highlighted parts of life, not the full reality. People watch these moments and assume they represent everything. But they don't. They represent only what is chosen to be shown. This is where Hauser's approach becomes important. By keeping his personal life private, he avoids turning his reality into a public story. He does not allow every detail to be analyzed or misunderstood. This helps him maintain a clear boundary. But at the same time, it increases curiosity. Because when reality is hidden, imagination grows stronger. Another important point is emotional projection. Fans often project their own feelings onto artists. If someone feels a certain emotion while watching his performance, they assume that the artist is experiencing the same thing in real life. Sometimes this is true, but often it is not that simple. Artists can express emotions deeply without revealing their personal experiences. In the end, the truth about Stjepan Hauser's love life is not something that can be fully understood from the outside. Because what fans see is only a part of the story. The rest remains private, controlled, and intentionally hidden. And that is where the difference lies, between illusion and reality. After everything we've explored, one final truth stands clear about Stjepan Hauser. His love life is not a mystery by accident. It is a mystery by choice. In a time where most celebrities share every detail of their personal lives, Hauser has taken a completely different path. He has chosen to keep one part of his life, his relationships, away from the public eye. And that decision defines everything. Throughout his journey, we have seen moments, glimpses, and even confirmed relationships. But we have never seen the full picture. There is always something missing, something hidden, something intentionally left unsaid. And that is exactly what keeps people interested. Because mystery creates curiosity. When everything is revealed, interest fades. But when something is partially hidden, people keep coming back, trying to understand more. This is why his love life continues to be a topic of discussion. But there is a deeper reason behind this choice. It is about control. By not sharing everything, Hauser controls his story. He decides what the world sees and what remains personal. This gives him freedom. Freedom from constant questions, opinions, and public pressure. And in today's world, that kind of control is rare. There is also a sense of protection. Relationships are personal. They involve emotions, trust, and vulnerability. When these things become public, they can lose their meaning. They can be misunderstood, criticized, or even turned into entertainment. Hauser avoids this completely. He keeps what matters, protected. Another important point is identity. He does not want to be known for his relationships. He wants to be known for his music, his performances, and his art. By keeping his love life private, he ensures that his identity remains focused on what he creates, not who he dates. This is a powerful decision. Even on platforms like YouTube, where many celebrities mix personal life with content, Hauser stays consistent. His work is public, but his personal life is not. And this balance is what makes him different. In the end, the story of his love. Life is not about finding every detail or uncovering every truth. It is about understanding the choice behind the silence. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are not the ones that are fully told, but the ones that leave something behind. And for Stjepan Hauser, that something is mystery. A mystery that keeps fans curious, engaged, and always wanting to know more.